Right then guys, how's it going and welcome back to another Euros 2020 fantasy football video. The group stages are over and it is time for the knockout rounds. England made it through top of the group but are now taking on Germany, so we'll have to see how that one goes. Let me know down below if you are enjoying the Euros so far, and be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. I will be doing these videos all the way through the tournament. We'll start off today's video by taking a quick look at our league, so if you haven't joined yet, be sure to jump in. We'll then take a look at how I did this week, which wasn't great, and then I will tell you what I am doing for my team ready for the round of 16. Remember, it is unlimited changes, unlimited transfers moving into the round of 16, and we also get an extra 5 million to spend as well. And I'll also touch on a few little strategy points that I'm going to be using, which will hopefully help you guys as well. So let's start off by jumping into our league leaderboard. At the end of 3 match days and the group stages, our current leader is Dream Team on 237 points, 84 points this week. Just behind him is 11 Blixems, 96 points this week. That is cracking. Third place, beautiful Kante ball. Third place joint is Penandes, who was top after the last week, so he's dropped down just a little bit. Fifth place, his eyes look sad, along with Shock Dart. And basically, if you're on this top page, well done to you. 97 points for Shock Dart. That is incredible. As I say, if you've not jumped in the league yet, be sure to do so. If you're on this top page, top 22, well done. And all the way down here, we find me 51 points, 121st place. I think I was 33rd in the last video, so I have dropped down almost 100 places. I made some last minute changes to my team that did not work out well. Let's take a quick look at Dream Team's team. Top of the league, Depay captain, Wijnaldum, Havertz. Yeah, I mean, he's basically got a takeaway from every player on the pitch, bar Gosens and Yaramchuk, so... And captain makes such a big difference. So, well done to you, mate. Let's take a look at my team. So, as I've just said, I did not have a good week. I'm not going to bring it up because it's too upsetting. But if you actually go back and look at the video I did ready for match day 3, I had in Depay, I had in Shaqiri, and I made last minute changes to try and better my team and took out 2 of the highest scoring players of the week. Like, it's so frustrating. I basically swapped Depay down to Malin. I took out Shaqiri so that I could upgrade him to Havertz, I think. And yeah, as I mentioned, captaincy-wise, complete flop. I had in Belotti. I had it in Bolo day 1, who did nothing. Day 2, I was meant to swap it. No, day 2 was De Bruyne, who got 6 points. I should have then swapped it to Perisic, but I forgot, and I had a last-ditch attempt at Gnabry, so I would have been better off leaving it on De Bruyne, but I think I was chasing the points after Perisic wasn't covered. So after 2 really good weeks, match day 1 went really well, 60 plus points, 65 points, 50 points. But yeah, I have got my plans ready for round of 16. Before we take a look at what I've done with my team ready for round of 16, I've got it written all down here, so I will show you in a second. Let's take a quick look at the tactics. So again, we have 4 days of football to cover. You can make substitutions between each day. I'm guessing if you guys have been playing it up to this point, you'll know how it works now. Let's not forget that the deadline is at 5 o'clock when the Wales-Denmark game kicks off. It's a bit annoying that that wasn't the Italy game at 5 o'clock, because I think a lot of people will be back in Italy and we can actually see the Wales-Denmark lineup before we have to lock in our players. The problem is, I don't know how many players I would be picking from either of these sides. Possibly Ramsey. I quite like the look of him for Wales. And Denmark, maybe a 4.5 million defender. You know, and then as we go up the pitch, as we go along, then Italy versus Austria, I think it's going to be a big backing of Italy. And this is one thing you've got to remember: we get unlimited changes in this round, but we only get 4 changes in the quarterfinal. So if you think you've got 15 players here, if you decide to 50-50 on the result of the games, you're going to have to change 7.5 players, 7-8 players, and you only get 4 transfers. So really what you want to be trying to do is back the teams you think are going to get through to the quarterfinals. With that, you would assume Italy, you'd assume Netherlands, Belgium, Portugal is a very tough one to predict. I even think Croatia, Spain, I would say Spain. But up until the Slovakia game, I didn't think they'd looked that bright. There could be a shock on the cards there. I think most people will back France, England, Germany, and then I don't know about Sweden, Ukraine. So I would say French players, Netherlands, and Italy. But that's only 3 teams. And the problem is, if you went 4 players from Italy, 4 players from Netherlands, 4 players from Spain, and you get 2 shock results, you are going to be struggling for the next round when you only get 4 free transfers, I should say. You can make more, but it'll cost you points to do it. If you still have your wild card left, then brilliant. Go for it. Use whatever players you want to get whatever players you can, and pray for the results that you want to happen. If it all goes wrong, you've got your wild card backup. Unfortunately for me, I have used both my limitless chip and my wild card. So as much as I want to try and go heavily on the teams that I think are going to qualify, I don't want to sell myself up the river if suddenly France get a shock loss or Italy get a shock loss and I don't have the transfers to cover myself. And the last thing to touch on, again, is captaincy. You want to be trying to use your captain each week if you can. Immobile for Italy, I think, will be popular day 1. Maybe even Bale or Ramsey if you're feeling a bit like doing something a little bit different. Belgium, Portugal, De Bruyne, Ronaldo, Netherlands, Wijnaldum, Depay. Most likely a France player. Benzema's woken up and got a few points now. And then in the last day, hopefully you won't need a captain in the last day because you will have got your points from the first 3. But again, this is what I did not do right this week. I did not do my captaincy properly. If I was on the ball, it would have been Perisic, but I missed it and then ended up with Gnabry. So again, day 1, if you put in Immobile and he gets a hat-trick against Austria, that's great. You don't have to think about it anymore. But yeah, so you want to be trying to back the teams you think are going to win. You want to have a captain for each day. You've got your unlimited transfers, and if you've still got your wild card to use, I would suggest really going for it with the teams you think are going to qualify. And if it doesn't work out, you've still got your wild card. For people like me who have used the wild card, maybe try and cover both sides a little bit just so that you're not completely done in if it all goes wrong. So yeah, leave it with me. We're back in a moment and I'll show you what my team is looking like for the round of 16. And that is how my team is looking ready for the round of 16. As I say, I've tried to follow the ideas that I've basically gone through a moment ago. There isn't that many teams to choose from, if we're being honest. And as I say, you really want to be choosing the teams that you think are going to win. So in terms of, Wales, Denmark, I actually do have a player from each of there. I've backed Italy, I've backed Netherlands, I've got De Bruyne and Ronaldo. And I've backed France, and I actually haven't got any players from either England or Germany or Sweden, Ukraine, because I don't know which way it's going to go, and there could well be goals that there may not. Both of those games I think could be quite tight. So as I say, I've gone Benzema. He is shown as captain right now, which is not going to be the case, but I'll just leave it there as it is. Got on the scoreboard. He's taken penalties. He's 10 million. I think he's going to be very, very popular going into the round of 16. I've gone Immobile. We've seen how well Italy have done so far, taking on Austria, who, in fairness to them, did very well in the end to make it through to the knockout rounds. But I've got to assume Italy are going to win that one. And I think Immobile will be back. He's looked bright. Italy as a whole have looked fantastic. That's why I've also got Baraggi, and it's also why I've got Spinazzola in. Again, I don't like tripling up massively. I also don't like going in so hard on day one because it feels like it's all over within a day, and if Italy have done badly, my whole week's screwed. So that's possibly the thing I like the least about it. Speaking of day one, I've also gone Ramsey for Wales, and I've also gone Mile from Denmark, 4.5 million. I just wanted to get some value there. Again, it's honestly for me, Wales Denmark is pretty 50-50. Bale is on the penalties, but he did miss it. I think he'll still be on the penalties. He'll still be on the free kicks. But for me, I actually think Ramsey's looked brighter. And depending on the formation, which we will see before the game starts. So in terms of Ramsey and Denmark, I'll know exactly whether they're playing before the game kicks off, because the deadline is the whistle. If Ramsey's playing that false nine again, I think that could be a shout. And then Wijnaldum, again, Netherlands playing the Czech Republic, so I've backed him, who's looked fantastic in the group stages again, scoring goals for fun. Dumfries from Netherlands again. I mean, he's a fullback, but he might as well be a right winger the way he plays. De Bruyne, Belgium taking on Portugal, so you'll see I also have Ronaldo down on the bench there. At the moment, again, only one of them can go through, and the thing is, I've not had Ronaldo in my team for any of the group stages, and he's been phenomenal. He was taking a lot of penalties, in fairness, but he has got a lot of points. There's no doubt that now he's in my team, he's not going to do anything, because that's always the way it is. But and in terms of Belgium as well, I think if they're going to get something. I thought De Bruyne looked bright in the game and a half we saw him play. I didn't think Hazard looked quite where Belgium want him to be, so I'm gonna back De Bruyne there. And then along the defence, I've already mentioned Dumfries for Netherlands, Spinazzola for it, and I've also put in the French centre back as well, who's played every game. I mean, and he's the cheapest. And they're playing Switzerland, so I think him and Benzema are a decent shout. I mean, I could have gone Pavard, could have gone Hernandez, but they're a lot more expensive. Varane is more expensive as well, so I've kind of just gone in there with the budget player. And then goalkeepers I've not mentioned. I've gone two cheap goalkeepers, Stecklenburg, for Netherlands. Again, Netherlands have looked great. He's only 4.7 million, and I've gone for Simon as well. It's him and P. Torres in my team from Spain. I didn't mention this earlier. I had P. Torres in my team already. Didn't bring him on because he was sub for the start of the game. He came on and got an assist. So that was more points I missed out on in the last round. So I won't make that mistake this time. In Spain, taking on Croatia. I think it could be a very close game. I think Spain may well concede, to be honest. But for the teams they play for and the price, I've gone with them. And then to finish things off, I've gone with Holes, who is a Czech Republic player. He's only 4.5 million. He's the cheapest midfielder who gets a game. I don't imagine he's going to do much against Netherlands other than pick up 2 points for playing the match. But again, to stay in budget, that's what I went for. So yeah, let me know your thoughts down below. As I say, and this is going to happen as the tournament goes on. You know, there is much less option for budget players at this point because there is less teams. The teams who are getting through have got the expensive players. That's why they've given us an extra 5 million budget to try and help along with that. And as we get into the quarterfinal and we lose some of these other teams, it's going to get even trickier to bring in more players. And to be honest, I am not against the selection that I've gone for. I like the teams that I've backed. The only question is it Benzema? Should it be Griezmann? Should it be Mbappe? And your Italy as well? Should I be backing Insigne in the midfield rather than Berardi? So I'm not really against kind of the route that I've taken. It's just the players in there that maybe could do with a little mix. So let me know your thoughts on what I've done. Let me know what you are doing for your round of 16 team down in the comments below. As I say, join the league if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And yeah, England versus Germany, fingers crossed. When I come back for the next video, we have made it through to the quarterfinals. Let's hope to God it doesn't go to penalties. And yeah, thank you for watching. As always, guys, drop a like, subscribe, and I'll catch you later.